gonna have to go live because it's showtime already. Oh my goodness, time just catches up with you so fast these days. It was just 6:30 earlier today. I swear it was. Hello there, good people. Hi, Jason here with Green Country Agroforestry, coming at you late as usual on a Wednesday night. Hi, Bill. You already ate. I know you already ate. I was there for it. Remember, you can't fool me. No, you can't. So we're here at the end of April, getting ready to start May, and got a lot of things going on. I'm in the middle of recording a video where I'm showing how we increased the soil depth in the corn patch, built up our walkways, and set up an irrigation system coming down from the duck pond. And installed the duck pond. So irrigation coming system down from the duck pond that waters and fertilizes the corn at the same time. Fun stuff. We're in the middle of actually still building it. A lot of the video is already in the can. It's just I have to get done with the rest of it, and hopefully, probably here next week or so, I'll be able to get it edited and up. But that's in the works. In the meantime, I'm shooting kind of around that and wondering how I'm going to present like shorter stuff, like just shorter videos that are in the same area without kind of spoiling it. It's going to be interesting, because now we actually have a 500-gallon stock tank irrigation pond up here at the top of this little section of property. The ducks get to go in there. They do their things. They get to be ducks. And of course, being ducks, they foul up the water very quickly. And then I have a tap at the bottom of it that I just open up. This goes into a series of pipes that go out to the corn patch, and the corn patch gets fertilized and watered at the same time. Well, I've managed to get it up. I've managed to get it working. I've got it working on camera. All that stuff is great. But we're still in the middle of hauling wood chips in to fill in the walkway space in the corn patch. And that means that at the moment I have to have the irrigation pipes propped up with bricks and rocks and stuff like that, because they sag where the walkways are supposed to be. There's a little dip there until I get the organic matter filled back in. So that's all fun, and I'm hoping that I don't wind up having severe thunderstorms come along and wash out our topsoil before the mulch gets put in. But we had a lot of rain this past week for about 3 or 4 days. My intentions were, pardon me, I'm just going to take off my shoes, Mr. Rogers style, to get comfortable here. My intentions were to get out there and introduce our newest baby ducklings to the new pond, but it was very cold rain that we were getting, and they're still very little ducklings. So I kept them in the shed where they could stay warm. I don't recall. Have we had a live stream since I lost the Cayuga? I can't recall if I've done a live stream since then or not. A couple of weeks ago, I did a live stream. We were talking about the ducks hand feeding and stuff like that, and we had gotten $25 duck. This male Cayuga, male Drake, Cayuga Drake. Very, very handsome fellow. He was growing quite well, and then in between the time, nightfall and the time I got done with the live stream, something came along and killed him. So yeah, I lost 2 ducklings. So at a rate of $25 a pop. Actually, it was 17 for the hen and 25 for the Drake. So about $34 worth of ducklings got their heads eaten off of them during the last live stream that I did. So this week I made sure that I had everything sealed up tightly before going on camera. I can't afford to be live and then go out and lock up afterwards. I have to make sure that we lock up before we go live. Otherwise, we might lose some more ducklings. So anyway, I've been running around doing more security for the ducklings, and of course the day after the discovery of beheaded ducklings, and of course the cayuga. That was the drake. I'd intend. I wanted to make sure I have a drake, and you're not really guaranteed if you get straight run ducklings or straight run chickens that you're going to get a rooster or a drake. You're probably going to get one, but you're not guaranteed to get one. I wanted to make sure I got a drake. But anyway, the day after I went into the Atwoods here in Sand Springs, and they had ducklings back in stock again, so I got 3. In the hopes that at least one of those is going to wind up being a drake. And so we are currently at 3 adult khaki Campbell hens, 2 juvenile khaki Campbell hens. They're making full grown duck noises now. Oh boy, I'm losing paperwork over here. 2 juveniles, and then we have 3 straight run generic farm ducks that may or may not include 1 or 2. I think we have 2. May not include a couple of drakes. So we have to have drakes. So we can continue to have ducks. It's not that important to me that their pedigree. I know that they have some khaki Campbell in them, which means that they have a good laying reputation. I had wanted to crossbreed cayuga because cayuga is a good meat bird. So we'd have a combination of meat and eggs hopefully coming out of that with hybrid vigor. But I don't know. I'm still wanting to get a cayuga, but probably next year we'll try it again and see if I can get a cayuga. So at the moment we're at 8 ducks altogether. 3 ducklings, 2 juveniles, and 3 adults. But that's a lot of manure. It's a lot of fertilizer that they make. But now I've got the pond set up with the valve on it. I can just open it up and the fertilizer goes to where the fertilizer needs to be. Lots of hard work up front. Hopefully it's going to pay off on the backside with more free time, leisure time for me. Hello, John Pumphrey. So that's been going on. And in the service of getting the walkways finished up, the in-ground worm bins is essentially what they are. What I've done here is in between the beds in the garden area, I've dug out all the good soil where the walkway is. I mean, it was good topsoil. All we were doing is walking on it. Let's take it and put it where we're going to grow stuff instead of, compacting our good soil. So I dug that all out and I put it in the beds. I filled that area in with wood chips. The wood chips broke down over the next couple of years, and then as they broke down, I started filling in the space with more organic matter as it came in. Stover, like the crop waste, whenever I cut the corn back, and I put that in there, and some tops from our other stuff that we needed to prune back. So prunings of green woody vegetables and things like that. We started putting that in there because those break down fairly quick. Straw and weeds that needed to break down. We just put them all right there in that walkway, building up that organic matter. And so about 3 years later, I can come by, and this is what we did this spring, and it's got some of it on the camera, and dig that walkway out, and all of that compost that we've been making in the walkway goes up onto the garden beds on either side. So this year we increased the soil depth by 6 inches. If we were averaging it by the year, it's an average of about 2 inches per year using this method. Increasing your soil depth, increasing your organic matter content, and increasing your soil depth. And of course, increasing the amount of water that you can hold there, right there next to your crops while they're growing. If I had these walkways as deep as I'd like, the corn patch could go all the way through our summer and I wouldn't have to irrigate at all, because there would be enough water just stored right there in the walkway. But where I say making sure your lines don't plug with gravity only, I'm making sure all of our fittings are slip fit. So if I wind up with a clog, all I've got to do is go down there and take the cap off, and it'll flush right out. And I put the cap back on, and we're back in business, spreading the dirty water around. Yeah. So anyway, I've been running around on organic matter patrol, and this year organic matter patrol means everywhere I see long-stemmed grass, everywhere, absolutely everywhere I see long stem grass. I go and I grab that long stem grass and pull it out. Okay, and I just put that all into a tub and let it sit for a day or two to make sure it's wilting down, dying down, and then it goes into the trenches, because whenever that gets covered up with the wood chips, I've got a good 3 or 4 inches of just grass and weeds rotting down in between a layer of brush and a layer of wood chips. So you got browns, greens, and browns. So it's a layered compost heap, just turned into a walkway. Once that's all done, next about 3 years from now, whenever we dig that out, it'll probably be the last time I have to do it. I think we're going to put up a retaining wall around the corn patch, because at that point we're going to be going up another 6 inches. So I want to have maybe at least an 8 to 10 inch retaining wall around the corn patch at that point. But that'll be fun, and we'll probably raise the duck pond up at that point too. Pump it empty, and then pick it up, disconnect the pipes, fill in, and then put it down and start building the dirt berm up around it again. But I think 3 years is our time frame for that. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. I'm tempted to jump on it and just get it done. Maybe later this year. We'll see. Once I get past all the spring planting, maybe. Brian's asking, how often is the change out of the tank that size with the number of ducks that you have? If I don't flush it once a week, it'll get nasty. It's getting nasty as it is, and part of the reason is it's kind of out there in the sun, and you'll see. I've got a video of this. This will be a separate video that comes out. I've got a video where Mary and I are taking a willow tree, and we're taking the willow tree and we're planting it inside the stock tank pond, and we're doing it with the aid of a couple of cement blocks. So what we did is we took 2 cement blocks, put them down in the pond, at one of the low ends, and then took our tree and put its roots down in amongst the holes in the cement blocks, and then took 2 more blocks and put them across there to crib it with. So the roots are kind of trapped in place by the cement blocks, and they're in and amongst the blocks. And then I put a little collar of old driftwood, well, not driftwood, I guess it's driftwood now, up around the top of the willow so it won't rub up against the concrete when the wind blows. And now we've just got a little willow tree that's sitting there, roots directly in the dirty water, growing, and it's going to grow up. It'll provide shade, and of course the ducks have discovered that willow is good to nibble on, so the lower branches are going to get nibbled and foraged on. So it's shade. It's shade to help provide shelter for the ducks, help keep the algae from blooming in the tank, help keep the fertility levels, the fertility spikes, leveled out by soaking up excess fertility with its growth. Feeding the ducks, sheltering the ducks, stopping the algae bloom, and of course just looking cool. This is a little willow tree growing in a pond. There we go. Oh yeah, they absolutely love water. Mary is wondering, don't you need dirt for it? I say, no, it's a willow. It's a willow with its roots in water. It's the happiest it's ever going to be. But that's going to be really nice. And of course, since it's kind of an unusual container, I suppose, Gale Southern Living does a container gardening contest where they're talking about unusual containers that you grow in. I wonder if a duck pond counts as an unusual container. Because essentially it is a tree growing in a container, right? I have to ask about that. All right, so this week I walked by and I looked at my trees, and we have lots of wonderful maple trees, lots of wonderful redbud trees, quite a few good-looking locust trees that are starting to leaf out there. Several pecan trees that, of course, they've got to take a graft, and that's not going to happen until next year. But they're coming along very nicely. But because they're coming along very nicely, and because they're leafing out, they're being taken off of the online store for sale. They're still going to be available for the next couple of weeks for in-person pickup. We have quite a few trees, quite a few nice trees. If you want to come by and pick them up in person, you can. But I'm not going to ship dirt. So, because each one of them is in a pot. It's 20 gallons of dirt. 20 gallons of dirt is about 80, 90 pounds of dirt with a tree. It's just not cost effective to ship the trees like that. And then I would have to remove them from their container to ship them otherwise, which means they're going to be experiencing trauma. Right now, they're saying, hey, I want to wake up and grow. So our bare root tree sales are done. If you want to grab it, pick it up locally, and then take it and pull it out and put it in the ground personally, those are still available for sale. You just have to come by the place to pick them up. But as the trees are going out, we've got new stuff coming in on the website. Let me grab a link for you real quick here. You'd think I'd have this ready, huh? Welcome to the show where Jason once again is not prepared. That's about the story of my life. All right. If you follow this link right here, we just got done paying off our website fees for the year. I'd be happy to know it's well, it actually costs more than the ad revenue, but anyway, we've got it. Hopefully, we managed to sell some trees or some plants and things like that. Our daylily special is still on. I know it's not there whenever you look at the website. It doesn't say buy two get one free on the daylilies, but if you do, for the end of this month, for the next week that we've got of April, if you buy 2 packs of daylilies, I will give you 1 pack of daylilies free. That's kind of a thing, I guess, that we got started. Whenever a channel member buys something, I try to give them a little something extra, but in order to make it not as if I'm giving them something extra, that just becomes what the month special is. So this month's special is bonus daylily, buy 2 get 1 free. But the new thing that's up, I mentioned these the last time we were talking. The new thing that's up are our plant starts. We have ground cover starts: violet, viola ceroria, yarrow. That's your Achillea milliforum, and of course Piperita, Mentha ex Piperita vulgaris, or black peppermint. We have black peppermint and violet and yarrow starts in packs of 6. And if you don't know which one you want to try a little bit of each. We've got a get all 3 in 1 pack, 2 plants each of all 3 of those in 1 pack, and those are up for sale now. Yay! John's saying too much hemlock around here. Mariah says, my neighbor gives me daylilies. I have the orange tiger ones too, not just the yellow ones. So the yellow ones are shorter, and they're a subcultivator called Stella de Oro. Of course, Stella de Oro has several sports in different colors too, but you see the yellow, it's Stella de Oro, and they taste pretty good. I've eaten them too. The ones I sell are the orange ones, but Stella de Oro are also edible. The flowers are still good, and they're very tasty. I'm saying honeysuckle and hemlock. Yeah, we had a lot of honeysuckle that I had to cut out too. All right. Now I have that thing listed on the website as a sampler pack, right? Sampler. It's six plants, and the reason it's 6 plants is because of the little box that I can get to ship things in that costs about $10 to ship holds about 6 plants. So there you go. That seems like a good deal. This is not an example. This is maybe a future example of what I'd like to do for a little combination kit. If you can see, I've got 3 different plants here in this little cluster. There is a Monarda punctata, that's the spotted bee balm there. This is the plant that has the highest concentration of thymol of any herb that you can get. So if you're looking for the antiseptic thymol, Monarda punctata, or spotted bee balm, is highest in that. This one here is, of course, your um, Mentha piperita ex vulgaris, or black peppermint, which is a natural hybrid of a couple of other mint species. But this is of course clones of an existing peppermint. And of course yarrow, which is good for fever reduction, for stopping blood flow, for uh, pain relief, on contact pain relief, and in tea for headache relief too. Excellent multi-purpose medicinal herb. But that would be all of your immediate first aid herbs right there, with the exception of course plantain, like Plantago major. Of course, depending upon where I got the soil from, there may be some plantain seed in here already. Now, these guys are sitting on this leaf here. Pardon me, I got the water off of this. This leaf here, this curious looking leaf here, this is what's starting to come up already. These were planted in ground. I didn't disturb them. The ones that I disturbed, the ones that I lifted and replanted, they haven't come up yet. These are just the ones that overwintered. Zone 7A. This is Canna indica purpura. It's just like your, isn't that pretty? Almost a little iridescent bronzish green color and deep dark purplish green on the other side. All right. Anyway, so it makes nice, huge starchy rhizomes. Huge. We're talking huge, like feed your family huge starchy rhizomes this big around. Large ones, huge clumps of them, big ones. That's what it makes. It makes flowers too. You can eat the flowers. You can eat the shoots as they come up. But the rhizomes are where it's at. Lots and lots of starch calories. And of course, like I said, these are coming up out of the ground already. I left some of them in ground. Some of them I lifted and brought in. Some of them I've sold. We still have, I think, 8 orders of them left that you can pick up before we're sold out for the season. And probably about another good, 20-30 days before you would want to get them in the ground. Or let's say further north, you could probably go, 35-40 days before getting them in the ground. If you're up there where it's still snowing. I'm sorry, guys. But excellent plant. Very little attention required for these Canna indica to grow. Oh, I'm just throwing water all over the place. To grow and produce. And they look awesome while they're doing it too. So these guys are coming up. I've got about 8 or 9 of those left. Mary says I have to start selling more plants because tariffs, freight's falling off, and we need money, or they'll take the house away from us. No, that's not really true. I mean, yeah, if we don't make the mortgage, they'll probably take the house away from us. But we're not in that bad shape yet. Not quite that bad. Buy our plants, please, so we won't starve. John says it looks like a fern. It does really look an awful lot like a fern, but that is just a little baby yarrow. Now, the starts are bigger. The starts are actually bigger than this, but probably in the future, one of the sampler packs that we'll send out will have 2 each of these particular plants. So 2 Monarda punctata, 2 peppermint, and 2 yarrow. And then for other ground cover samplers, it'd be like 2 of the all-star strawberry, 2 of the violets, and 2 of something else. Vicky is saying he's just enough colder than we are that the in-ground. Yeah. Just I think 7A is pushing it just a little. If we had a really bad winter, some of them wouldn't survive. So I always make sure I lift a few. That way, if we do get hit and it's really bad, I can always come back and I can recolonize. But as it is, I've got little colonies of these cannas popping up that are just going berserk. Oh shoot, guys! While I'm thinking about it here, let me go. No, not there. I need to go and come in here to frogs. Pardon me, just a second. I'm actually working right now. come into my store office real quick here and look at my inventory. See, I just finished filling an order for Big Horse Spotted Corn. Thank you, James. James Dunlop. And as you can see, that's about all that's left. In the bottom of the barrel, that's it. Can you guys see that? Let me look over there, see if you can see. There's, oh, yep, that's a couple kernels. That's it. That's all that's left there. And a digital scale so I can measure corn seed by the gram. There's enough here for maybe one more order. But that is all of last year's corn. This is what we have to draw our seed corn from this year. So we have some really nice stuff here. Oh my goodness, really nice stuff here that we're putting into the mix for this year's seed corn. And so while we're on the live stream here real quick, I'm going to come in to our inventory. I forgot to do this earlier. Big Horse Spotted Corn, 64 gram, 400 count. We don't have 2 left. We've got 10. There we go. Although I'm gonna leave them on the cob for now. They keep better on the cob. Typically, what I'll do is, pardon me, I'll keep them on the cob just like this, right? Just like these, they're on the cob. And then, as the seed orders come in, I'll take each cob, knock a few seeds off of each cob, pop, 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 and there's like 20 or 30 cobs in here. So what winds up coming into this bucket is, are the seeds from 20 or 30 different cobs, all of them selected to be unique, different, to have the special characteristics of the corn that make it special. So that's how the seed is selected. I think I've got a little bit of that process on one of the videos that we may or may not put out. It just really depends. Some things, whenever I get around to editing and cutting it, just doesn't really excite me, so I don't include it. Now, Vicky, earlier you were saying something about donating to the cause. We're going to wait until next year to try getting another cayuga, because it's getting late in the season, and I've already got a couple more ducklings from the Atwoods. I'm sure one of them is going to be a drake. So having some odd farm duck genetics in the flock is not bad. It's not bad. Hybrids are better. I know we like to get, these purebreds, but I was already planning on hybridizing my flock. It was just didn't plan on doing it with a farm duck. Vicky says, at the bottom of a ravine, it's consistently 10 degrees colder here than it is at the ridgetop. Well, except in the middle of summer. Sometimes the middle of summer being at the bottom of the holler isn't fun. It's like you're in a pressure cooker. Oh my. I'm getting ready to run out of coffee here. I've got another drink in the microwave that's been beeping at me in there, but I need to go grab it. It means I have to leave you guys alone for a minute. I don't know if I want to do that. What if you find something else that's more interesting to watch? Let me get in here real quick. New cam catchers. 42. What is this? Is this bird feeder food?
Alright, I'm gonna get this truck out of the way. I'll get the keys.
It's bird feeder. There we go. All right. So give me a second here. I'm going to leave you guys with this lovely image here. Leave you this lovely image here. And I'm going to go get my new drink out of the microwave real quick. I'll be right back, dude. Yeah, hopefully the drink doesn't burn itself out. I think we want it with 2. What's going on with that bird feeder? Is anybody visiting it? No? See, this is why you have to edit these things. You have to edit these things. Otherwise you just look at a little bird feeder doing nothing for hours at a time. Oh. Brian says he doesn't care. He's out of the Who Scout for 2 days. What, you got 2 days off in a row? Oh my goodness. Whatever are you going to do with 2 days off in a row? Kick back, relax. Not have to make sandwiches for other people for a day or two? Oh my goodness. All right. So the drink that I'm making here, you got to stir it quite a bit. It's a bit different. The cats have a cat tree right over here. Hang on a second. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Ta-da! We got a cat tree right there. Oy. Mary's got a bunch of these are wire shelves, like pantry shelves that she ordered up. We've got to find a place to put them all. Yeah, I mean, the pantry? There's a lot of reorganization that needs to take place before some of this stuff finds a place to be. So right now it's kind of like in the middle of the room. So this drink that I'm working on, it just kind of it was a wild hair. I decided to try it out, and it's just so good. I just keep on coming back and getting it. So late in the evening, you know, my old habit was I drink coffee, right? And people will say, why are you drinking coffee? You're getting ready to go to bed here in like 10, 15 minutes or so. Right after drinking coffee. No wonder you're having trouble sleeping and stuff like that, right? drinking coffee just before going to bed. But I like to have, you know, a nice warm drink, you know. So instead, this is milk. Instead of coffee, this is milk. And you may notice the color is a bit off. That's because this is milk mixed with there's like a tiny little bit of orange zest, a little bit of nutmeg, a little bit of cinnamon, and a fair decent amount of turmeric, and a couple teaspoons of honey. Oh, and a couple of crushed black peppercorns. There we go. When you put all of these things together in the appropriate proportions and stir them thoroughly so that everything is nice and mixed, and we're about there. I just have the little speckles floating on the surface from the nutmeg. You have a concoction called golden milk. And oddly enough, it's very, very tasty. You wouldn't think that turmeric and milk would be a good combination, but with the other spices, yeah, I didn't put any cloves in. But with the other spices, oh my goodness, it is quite tasty. And of course, the turmeric and black pepper have anti-inflammatory properties, so they make your hands and joints and everything, your muscles, after working in the garden, feel good. And having something that makes your joints and muscles feel good after working all day in the garden is just a nice thing to have. And of course, no caffeine. It's just, better for you to have before going to bed than a cup of coffee. If I had to describe the flavor kind of reminds me of custard. Not like, seriously, it reminds me of custard. It's like you have a custard that didn't set. And Brian is buffering. But that is just so very tasty. Oh my. Vicky says cloves don't combine well with dairy. I've never had it with cloves, so no. Cloves are a bit much. They're very, very strong. Like if you have a toothache, chew a clove. Your toothache will go away. It won't solve the problem. Whatever caused your tooth to hurt will still be there, but you just won't be able to feel it. Cloves will numb the pain. Oil of oregano, thymol, like from plants like Leonarda punctata, this one here, that will also be effective at killing oral pain. And also the infection that causes it. I mean, I had a toothache once. It was infected tooth. Went to the dentist. They said, "Oh, I can't do anything about it until you get rid of the infection that's in the tooth. Here's a prescription for antibiotics. You take those whenever the infection's gone. Then I can deal with the tooth. The time the infection's gone, the tooth didn't hurt anymore." So the next time that came up, I was like, well, I need something that's going to kill the pain. And I knew that this oil of oregano was a good antiseptic. I was like, well, at least it's going to kill the infection. I put that on, and I'd used cloves before, which numbs the pain. Right? I put oil of oregano on the infected tooth, and it killed the pain. I was expecting it's going to kill the infection, and the infection once the infection's gone, the pain will go. Not only did it kill the infection, but it stopped the pain almost immediately. Brian's asking if I've got the garage taken down and sorted out. No. Carport's taken down, but the garage has not been taken down yet. John says rosemary is a good antiseptic. Yep. Well, Yarrow has antiseptic properties as well. It's not widely touted for its antiseptic properties, but it has them. Yay. Now, taking the garage down is still in the planning phases. My plan. This is where having a spouse is an extra challenge. My plan had been we're going to get rid of the carport and then take all the stuff that was in the garage that we want to keep, move it over to the house next door, and then get rid of the garage. Then build a pole barn structure where the garage was. So we use the concrete pad as the underlying pad for a new structure, pole barn. We use the concrete blocks from the garage to build our box wall. And once we've got the pole barn set up, we take all the stuff that we have that's over there in the mother-in-law's house that we plan on keeping, move it over to the pole barn, and then demolish the mother-in-law's house. But Mary says that she thinks that it would probably be better to demolish the mother-in-law's house sooner rather than later. So we're kind of up in the air about what we're going to do with that. We might just wind up knocking that out first. There are a lot of things in the yard over there next door that I just can't get started on until the house is gone, because we're going to have to drive over portions of the yard to get in to knock the house down and extract it with like a front end loader or whatever it is that they use for the demolition. Yeah, the roof is already starting to go. The kitchen caught on fire and the floor is collapsed in the kitchen. The floor is collapsed in the bathroom. The toilet kind of went clank and it's on the ground underneath the house in the bathroom. I don't know if the tub is still sitting on the floor, but since the floor was kind of eroding underneath it in that bathroom, there's a good chance that the tub has already fallen through as well. Yeah, many problems with that house over there, and probably the easiest thing to do would be just knock it down and build something new there. But we're going to have to price the demolition or do it ourselves or a combination of the two. We'll see how that works out. I've got a cousin that does demolition, but I don't think he does that scale of demolition. He's been taking apart taking apart trailers and stuff. That's a little bit easier. I think you can do most of that with a sawzall. Maybe you can do this with a sawzall too, but it is a whole house that needs to be chopped up and disposed of. In any case, I've got a bit more work out in the front yard to do, digging out the walkway there. We're about halfway around. I just had to take a pause from that to go make sure the corn patch got done. That'll probably take me the rest of the summer, in all actuality, to get done. But once that's done, what else will I have to do with my time? I guess it'll be time to work over there on that place next door. Maybe. We'll see. I've got a little postage stamp garden going on there. I tried to capture it on video, but it was really windy and rainy that particular day, so I don't know how much of it's going to come out. But I took a space that's about 15 square feet. It was going to be 16 square feet, but there's a little place where the walkway kind of curves around a corner and cuts the corner of it off. So it's actually 15 square feet. So 15 square feet, say this is all the space you have. And I put an 8-foot cattle panel trellis in there, and I planted in there 2 tomato plants, 2 bell pepper plants, a whole bunch of daikon radishes, a whole bunch of onions, a little plant called a Mexican gherkin or cucamelon. Planted a few of those in there, and I planted some. Oh, actually, I've got seeds in my pocket even now. Yeah, I planted a whole bunch of these guys, these little things in there too. This is a vining plant called red-veined Malabar spinach. So our little 15 square foot pocket garden, just a little tiny postage stamp over there in the yard. Say that's all the room you've got. Is it enough room to be worth your while to grow a garden? Well, absolutely, because we've got dozens and dozens of good quality radishes coming out of there, lots and lots of salad greens coming out of there, onions coming out of there, tomatoes coming out of there, cucumbers coming out of there, all the things that bell peppers coming out of there, all those things that you need to go on your salad coming out of just a little tiny space. And since so much of it is vining, it can take advantage of that trellis and grow vertical. And so we'll have just all kinds of little tiny bite-sized cucumbers, bite-sized cherries, cherry tomatoes, growing all up that trellis with the other stuff down in the front. So hopefully it'll be a good demonstration of how you can have a really nice, highly productive garden in a very, very small amount of space. It's just crazy what we pay for fresh produce at the grocery store. I mean, isn't it? You see what the prices of groceries are these days. Who can afford to eat at the grocery store? Ooh. And of course, the daikons are wonderful because you can eat the greens, like just like a lettuce green. You can eat the greens, and you can allow them to grow big and have those nice big thick daikon radishes. But you can also, whenever you're thinning them out, you have smaller radishes that you can cut up and put in your salad as well, and it's still a radish. So it turns into something as big as your forearm if you let it get big. But whenever you pull them up, whenever they're young, they're just like little tiny icicle radishes. Those little white icicle radishes, they're exactly like that. Through Lynn says, when I was a kid, my dad, my great uncle, and I tore down one single story and one two-story houses and built two houses, two barns out of the lumber. All right. I have not tried black radishes, Joe. I've got oilseed daikon radish. I don't think this is the same thing. I don't think so. It might be. It could be. Oh wow. Problem with this drink is it's hard to sip it. And because it's so tasty, you want to just chug it. But then it's gone, and you have to go make more. And there is such a thing as having too much milk and honey. It'll make you fat. You don't want to get fat. Except in winter. It's okay to get fat in winter. So what do we have here? It's the 23rd. 1 week. Yep, 1 week. Got 1 week until I start planting these guys. This is a Virginia peanut. This is not a roasted Virginia peanut. This is a raw, natural, useful for seed Virginia peanut. So like right around the 1st of May, I'm going to start putting these guys in. You really have to wait until after the soil temperature comes up a bit before you put peanuts in. And here in Zone A, yeah, I'm just going to eat raw peanuts in front of you. Here in Zone A, that's usually about the 1st of May. You can say radish greens are tasty when young and cooked radishes completely. Yeah. They are just like lettuce. Just like lettuce. Oh my goodness. Even without roasting, peanuts are good. I've got a big bag full of these. Huh? And it's odd. You see, as far as nutrient density goes, peanuts are right up there at the top as far as calories per calories per gram, right? Calories per gram per unit of volume, like the amount of space that it takes up, and the amount of mass that is required to have a calorie of. Vicky trying to tempt me with jungle peanuts. I might be interested in those. Okay. So you get a lot of calories out of peanuts, and you'd think that they'd be a high value, like maybe survival or emergency crop because of the calorie content. Actually, they're better as an emergency food that you would buy and store and have handy, get a few dozen packages of those bacon cheddar crackers, and a couple and a half a dozen pints of chunky peanut butter, and you're good to go. That's a lot of calories, and they store really well, and they don't take up a lot of space, and it's a lot of food for the mass. But peanuts themselves, as far as the amount of space that it takes to grow them for the amount of calories that you get back, they aren't that really a great return. But they are a really good companion plant and ground cover. So everywhere I have ground space going into the summer, I want peanuts growing. And they're going to get about 18 inches to 2 foot tall, at tops 2 foot tall, but about 18 inches, somewhere from 12 inches to 18 inches, 1 foot to 18 inches tall. And then they're going to flower and then put on these little spikes that go into the ground, and they make nuts or legumes that you can eat, and they grow really well here in Oklahoma. So these will be going in like next week. And I can't wait because I love peanuts. I love them so much. My very first crop was peanuts. Very first thing I ever grew. I went to the Conrad Farms produce shop in Bixby, Oklahoma, where my Uncle Chester was running the family business. And I got a bag full of 1 pound, I think it was just 1 pound, and I wanted to get 2 pounds, but they told me 1 pound was going to be enough, of raw in the shell peanuts for seed. I got home and I started cracking the shells open just like this, so I could put them aside to plant them. And I saw these perfect little peanuts here, and I thought, I could probably eat one of these. And so I did. And I ate it. And I kept on cracking out peanuts for seed. And that just really hit my taste buds the right way. And I saw another one and this is really how it got started, I saw another one where that coat, the little paper coat on the outside of the nut, was just flaked off a little bit. I was like, oh, it may not germinate. I'll go ahead and eat this one too. And by the time I was done shelling out that 1 pound bag of peanuts, I'll tell you what, I only had about a 1/4 pound of seeds. So we went back to Bixby. I toddled up to the counter. I need some more seeds. And they gave me some more seeds. And I went home and I shelled them out. And I didn't eat them all this time. And I grew my first crop of peanuts. But yep, lots and lots of calories, lots of fat calories in peanuts. And of course, they're a legume. They fix nitrogen. They're great for your soil. They do take a while to grow. So if you're living further north than Zone 7, you may have trouble getting them to grow all the way through. I've never tried growing pistachios here, Joe. I don't know. It's not really one of the trees you see a whole lot of here in Oklahoma. The fact that I've got an almond tree right outside my window is a bit odd. I actually do have an almond tree here. It didn't make any nuts this year. It bloomed a little bit. There was a couple flowers on it, but not many. Maybe next year we'll actually see some almonds. Maybe next year we'll actually see some cherries. I don't know. We might still see some cherries off of one of those cherry trees. I went over there and looked. There's some flowers that are still on it. That I don't know if they got pollinated or not. We'll just have to look and see. Now both pear trees got pollinated and they've got fruit on them. The peach tree has got a lot of fruit on it. One of the plum trees has got a lot of plums on it. I mean, like probably way too many plums. Um, the dessert plum, doesn't have any, but that's to be expected. It's still little. What else is going on? Oh, let's see. I have a new tree coming. I know, right? It's like I need any more trees. Actually, okay, I've got two. I have two Hercules Club prickly ash trees in pots in the driveway. I'm still waiting for a spot to put them. I'm wanting to put them up on top of the box wall in the back. Whenever I get the box wall done, I want to put these prickly ashes up there, so you have like thorny trees growing on the top of the box wall. You can imagine. So there's a wall 5 foot high, and then there's probably another 10 to 15 foot of thorny trees on the top of the wall. Are you gonna go climb up a 5 foot wall with your face in the thorns and then crawl through that to get into somebody's yard? No, you're not. You're gonna walk around and go through the gate like a respectable person, right? That's the idea. It's good security, but it also gives me a place to put some of these things that are up and out of the way that I want, that are thorny, just not there where people can accidentally injure themselves walking by them. But I've got those in the driveway. but no. I watched. I don't know if you guys watch this channel. It's called Weird Explorer. Weird Explorer it's a channel about a guy. He's a contortionist. He's a circus performer. He travels all over the world as a circus performer. But the show isn't about him being a circus performer. It's about what he does whenever he's traveling. You see, one trip, one event, he was off, I think, in Morocco, and he was looking for something to do, and he went out and he visited the open air market there and went, oh my gosh, it's full of all this food from all over the world, all this exotic fruit and stuff like that. And so he took some and he sampled it and he made a reaction video of him eating this fruit that he had never tried before, strange food from all over the world. And essentially that's what the channel became, is like him sampling fruits and berries and nuts and things like that from all over the world. And it's called Weird Explorer. And he was eating a berry called berry. And the berry is also called the Chinese melonberry, is another name for it. And it's related to the mulberry. It's compound fruit, just like the mulberry is. So the mulberry has a whole bunch of these little tiny juice-filled capsules, little tiny fruitlets, all in a cluster, right? So the has something like that, little tiny cluster of little tiny fruitlets all together, and whenever you bite into it, it's kind of chewy. And then the cell walls burst and the juice comes out, and you can taste the flavor of this, and they say it tastes like watermelon. Okay, well, I like mulberries. I do. And if I had one that produced berries that tasted like watermelon, I think I'd be pretty happy. So I kind of forgot that I'm running out of places to put trees, and I went and I bought 4 cuttings. Not 4 rooted cuttings. No, 4 sticks. I bought 4 sticks. This you've got the gardening bug bad whenever you're buying just cuttings, so you can try to get a plant started. I got 4 cuttings of this mulberry, and I took them and I put them in peat moss, and I've got them covered up with a plastic bag for humidity dome. I just went in there, I sprayed them about 50 sprays with the hand sprayer this morning, double check it, making sure they're starting to leaf out. One of them is leafing out. I don't know, but the other ones, one of them is definitely leafing out. I think I may actually have a fruit tree coming up. So that's we've got like 3 or 4 Morris rubra red mulberry. Those are delicious. They're wonderful. They're great. Absolutely nothing wrong with them. I've got 2 black mulberries. One of them I got like 5. One of them took. It was in the back corner. It took. The rest of them died off from various things, neglect mainly. And one of them I hit with a weed eater. That was the last time I used the weed eater. After that, I just started cutting everything very deliberately. I was like, okay, I'm going to just pay attention to what I cut. Before I make a cut, I'm going to know what it is I'm cutting. And now everything is deliberate and that I don't use any power tools. Uh, but I took some cuttings from that and I stuck a cutting up under the pecan tree and forgot about it. And it took. I just stuck it in the ground. Just a stick in the ground. I stuck a stick in the ground. And so it started leafing out this spring and I looked at it and I was like, oh, that's a mulberry. But I don't know what kind of mulberry it is. First I thought it was Morris rubra. And I was like, no, I don't think it doesn't look right. It's different somehow. And then as it developed, I looked at the leaves and the structured leaves and went, okay, let me go look at my black mulberry again. And had to look at it, and sure enough, the black mulberry, that mulberry, they're the same. It's like, oh, okay, that's what it was. Sometimes I do that. I'm taking prunings and I don't have room to stick something. I just stick it in the ground. Maybe it'll grow. Sometimes they do. Mulberry is one of those ones. Mulberry and willow both. If you stick them in the ground, there's a good chance that if you stake mulberry or you stake willow, there's a good chance that you're going to wind up with a mulberry tree or a willow tree. Another tree, or this is not really a tree, it's more of a bush. Another one that's really easy to get to grow from a stake, and I've got a bunch of stakes out right now, is elderberry. I've got black elderberry, about maybe 20 or 30 stakes going. And if we get some of those to root, then come springtime, or as spring is approaching, you're going to see Sambuca nigra, or black elderberry, on sale up there at greencountryagroforestry.com. That is greencountryagroforestry.com. And of course, trees, seeds, other garden needs. Have a look and see what we've got. Right now, it's starts of violet and yarrow and peppermint that are brand new and fresh in. Of course, we still got our daylilies, and they're still on sale. The unofficial sale. It does not appear on the website because I don't know how to write the code and put it up there as an advertisement 2-for-1. But the unofficial sale is if you buy two. This is like the hidden code. If you watch the channel, you know that this is the secret sale. If you buy 2 packages of daylilies, I will send you 1 pack for free. That's all the way through until the end of the month, till May. And then May comes. I don't know what we're going to do for a special in May. May's special? Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what the channel members pick up, and that's going to become the May special. Alrighty. Vicky's saying figs are supposed to be enthusiastic about rooting. They are. Figs are also one of those trees. It's fig, willow, mulberry, goji berry too. You just stick it in the ground and back away and see what happens. Like a lot of those. You don't even have to put rooting hormone on. You just have to cut it off, put it in the ground. If it stays moist enough, it stays warm enough, it's going to root. Like a lot of these trees are like that. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get off here. I'm going to get some sleep. I got to hit it again tomorrow. In any case, check us out, greencountryagroforestry.com. You can't get trees again until fall comes around, unless, of course, you happen to stop by here in person. If you do stop by in person, it's not a problem. We do still have them for sale, but you'll have to buy them pot and all. And since I don't want to pay to ship dirt, I'll have to come pick them up in person. Anyway, that's all I've got for you tonight, good people. As always, I hope you found today's video informative or entertaining. If you did, you know what to do. I'll catch you next time. Until then, get out there and keep growing.